Hey Dollhouse people, Whitney LaBrie here, and this is part 3 of the exterior of the Garfield Dollhouse. We've come a long way, we've done a lot of work, but now it's time to add the windows, the trims, and the doors. This is the part of the video where you subscribe. Subscribe. So let's get to it. So here's where we left off last week, where I had stained everything, for the most part, the siding, and now we have to do all the trim and everything. And I really like the way that it's looking. It's kind of almost turning into a more modern Victorian farmhouse style, which is totally fine with me. I love that look. I also left it off where I didn't really know what I wanted to do with that top window and the bottom window, the bay window areas. We're going to also remedy that today as well. Now, I have to tell you that this last couple weeks, all I feel like I've been doing is sanding. I've been popping out these freaking wood pieces, sanding them, popping out more, sanding them, and I hate it with a passion. The other thing too about popping these pieces out of this wood, these dollhouse kits, is they are not the top quality every time. And while Greenleaf makes a really great dollhouse, sometimes the pieces are just, the wood is like rotting. So you have to be really careful. And I broke many pieces, and I'm using X-Acto knives, I'm using cutters, shears, all sorts of stuff for wood, and I'm still doing a horrible job. So the other thing is I couldn't find some of the trim that went around the kitchen door, but what do you know, I had popped it out much earlier and I hid it inside the kitchen. You can see it just sitting inside there. After searching for I felt like an hour, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. It's sitting right inside. And then this is the aftermath after I popped everything out, sanded it, and at least I got to throw away a lot of stuff. So what I decided to do is paint the trim that goes against the cream and white bricks black. So you can see there that I went around and I actually painted a little bit to the interior before adding the trim on, so that if you look inside, there'd be some black already there. And so I did each window and window hood in black. So anything against the cream, the trim will be black. Of course, I had to use my blue tape because the freaking trim kept falling off. And that's just another one of those really fun things about putting dollhouse trim on, especially when you're doing it like this and not buying windows. I've purchased full windows for other dollhouses, and that is so nice just to pop those windows right in. But I did decide to go ahead and use the trim that came with this dollhouse. Clearly, I love my blue tape. I really like that black against that white. I tend to do that a lot, and I guess it's just something that I'm really enjoying right now. I'm going through a black and white phase. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is really work on the front door. So here's my inspiration door. I really love this color. I think it's fun. With the windows are kind of similar. I'm going to start off by grabbing my chalky gray, which you see me use this a lot in the dollhouse on the interior. And then I'm also going to paint the kitchen door, which I had originally painted red, as you can see here. And this is going to be my base coat on the outside, but it'll also be the real color for the interior of the door because the entryway is also gray. All right, so my first color here coat is going to be spearmint, which is so fresh and such a pretty color. And I'm going to apply that pretty well, covering all the gray on the outside of the door. And then I'm going to grab my turquoise paint and do a coat of turquoise and let a little bit of that spearmint shine through. I'm not going to do a full coat of turquoise. All right, and then I'm going to take another lighter turquoise and also slap that on. You can see the other colors coming through, as you can see here. All right, now I'm going to grab my plastic windows out of the kit, and I'm going to go ahead and glue those in place and then put the backs on the doors. I really love this bright turquoise against the black and the white trim. Sanding is finally completed. I can get rid of these hideous nails that I've just destroyed but refused to get new ones since I was sanding so much. And transformation number 1. Yay, I feel complete. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do with the doors is I'm just going to do a black wash over them, just a very watered down black wash, and really make sure that I'm highlighting the corners and the edges And then I'm just going to do a quick wash over the total top of the door to kind of give it an older, more vintage vibe. All right, so I'm not going overboard with the black, just trying to distress it a little bit, not getting too crazy. Now, I bought these really great doorknobs at a hobby store, and they are really meant for, I think, just embellishing or jewelry making. But I thought they were super cool, so I want to use those. Of course, hinges, maybe this door knocker. I really like it. It's a lion door knocker, but I might use that in a different way for something else. Plus the double doors, there's not really room for it, so we'll see. These handles I'm definitely putting on. I think they look fantastic. And since they were made for paper, they have these little brads, and I'm just going to cut the backs off of them and then glue the little screws down to kind of complete the look of the door. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do while that dries is, you see the edging here? It doesn't look very clean. I'd like to really clean up this edge right here. So I'm just going to take some trim and paint it white, and then I'm just going to go ahead and glue that in place so that it gives a really nice clean look. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to those removable bay windows, and I'm going to go ahead and do wood paneling just like I did on the whole dollhouse on both. It'll look good at the top because it'll give it a nice monochromatic look, but it will also at the base really break up those bricks, but really lend your eye to knowing that the top and the bottom go together. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change out the sad and the pathetic blades in my miter shears and my X-Acto knife, which I've even broken the tip off. It's so sad. And they look good. All right, so once I've cut all that wood, again, my popsicle sticks, I think I'm actually running low. Not out, I'm not running out, but I'm definitely running out low. Here they are, and it's hard to tell because they're covered in blue tape right now. So I didn't really talk about the porch, and I wasn't necessarily going to do it in this episode, but since I'd already popped it out and sanded it, I thought I might as well go ahead and add it in this episode, which is fantastic because it's just one less thing. We're getting closer to the finish. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is the French doors. So I just popped out the windows just like the other doors, painted one half, stained the other half, and then glued them together and then added the doorknobs. Okay, and so here's where we're at. We're all ready to go. Everything's in place. It's pretty much dried and it's ready to stain. And I did the same honey coat finish that I did for the rest of the house on all of the wood. And here is what it looks like now. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this week. I am loving it. I now have to figure out what to do with the stairs, but I think we're going to go ahead and add a few porch accessories over the week, and I'll show you that next time. But Tiny Whitney is really anxious to start putting up the accessories. She's already telling me where to put plants. Thank you, little tiny Whitney. Now let's take a look at the inside. So here's the door, the entrance door from the inside. Here's the bedroom, French doors. So yeah, it's definitely bringing the inside together as well. And then here's the outside. All right, well, that's it for this week. And as always, I am so appreciative that you tuned in. If you are interested in pre-owned and new dollhouse furniture and accessories, you can pop on over to my eBay website at Whitney1614. And I hope I've inspired you to get back to your own dollhouse projects. If you don't already, go ahead and subscribe, and then you can follow me too on Facebook, Pinterest, or Instagram. Have a great week, and I'll see you Wednesday for What's New Wednesdays.